Well, here we are, another Tuesday, everybody. Welcome.
Matrix Money Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
How are you
And
doing?
everybody's excited because we got this guy back. Wait, this guy back here again to come and chat with us. Joel, welcome, man.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's been a nice day. This will be the third show I popped into today, but it's also that three goes along with the 3 times I went out to clear snow from my driveway of vehicles today. So three matching, eat 3 meals, have 3 coffees.
Three across the board.
It's a day of 3s.
Yeah. How bad did you guys get it in your neck of the woods?
Probably not nearly as bad as where you're at, but it was a couple feet. I just know
we're right in the same spot there. We got about 20-ish inches. So yeah.
Yeah, I just know when I was pushing the snow off of my car, when I pushed it off the roof, then it was a flat line from the roof down to the hood.
Yeah.
So it piled up enough to where it was all like that. So, and again, I don't think I get any sympathy from either of you guys up for all this because but whatever.
You're not going to get any from me.
Yeah, right. Jar was commiserating a few minutes ago at the aches in his back.
Yeah, my back is done, my shoulder's done, my wrist is done. I've been shoveling nonstop for 3 days, so yeah, it's we got quite a bit up here.
Yeah, that's what passes for the gym over here.
Right. Oh, well, welcome everybody. We're going to be talking a little bit about what was said in Davos. We're going to talk about the USAT coming out of Tether to comply with the Genius Act. About Vitalik saying, "Hey, man, we need some privacy in this space." Well, go figure. And then we'll get into the very end. What is where I think the bulk of the discussion will probably come, where we do talk about the potential loss of privacy and what's coming with regard to that. But before we go do all that, guys, what do you say? Let's go say hi to the chat. How's that sound?
Let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what do we got? Yeah, Grind on Target. I like that. Nice name. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. And of course, Joel brought the posse. We like that. And Shuby is in the house. If you're on my channel, Shuby Bucket's in the chat. Appreciate you being here, Shub. Shub, please tell me in the chat, have you got power back yet?
No.
Man, he was 36 hours without power at this time last night.
Wow. Okay.
So
all right.
I'm hoping, dude, that you got the power back. Let's see. Damn it, Dave is in the house. Welcome.
Dave. Welcome.
All right. And what do we got? Drunk. Was that I-99? Drunky.
I was going to say Juicy 999. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All right. Welcome. Appreciate you being here, man. Let's see. Should be saying, I wish I could shovel snow instead of yeah. No doubt, man. No doubt. I get it, man. And privacy Dex coin. Yeah, well, we're gonna be talking privacy coins there. You know what? Let me just throw this out to start with here. Did you guys see India saying time for these exchanges, no more privacy coins in these exchanges? I mean, like that's going to matter if you go to a decentralized exchange. But what do you guys, how about we start there and then we'll go into some of this other stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised at all. This has been an ongoing issue over there, and just announcing something they're already doing right now. So no shocker at all.
Damn.
Yeah, I would say it's like the Lord of the Rings meme. You have no power here.
Yeah, that's
like it's the same type of a thing. It kind of reminded me of like for anyone who's been in the crypto space for a very long time, there was always the Bitcoin mining ban in China. And then finally they sort of did it, and then the hash rate materialized elsewhere and everything was fine. And then same thing of like, oh, getting delisted, it's a big problem. And then every crypto that's any good, at least, kept on getting delisted everywhere. And then eventually it just didn't make a dent. And then like the big one was like the Binance delisting, where Binance delisted Monero. And you think if you're off Binance, you're cooked.
Oh, right.
But then they price dumped pretty hard. And then it got back. And then Firo, which is a very much smaller cryptocurrency, also got dumped by Binance not too long after. dump, but then back up. And it's like
recovered. Yeah.
You can't even kill the little ones. So now it's just like no one's really afraid. I think the big factor though has been this last quarter or so with everything going crazy. First of all, you've had some dexes like the Maya protocol, which of course Dash is on, which is fantastic, as well as Zcash. And then Near Intense added Zcash. And so you had a ton of easy access there. But the big things no one's liking to talk about is the perp dexes, like Hyperliquid, Naster Dex.
Yeah.
They, at least Hyperliquid has perpetuals for Zcash, Dash, and Monero now. And I think Zcash was one of the first ones of the just during that big pump. But like in middle of December, Monero gets on, the price starts going nuts, and like, yeah, it's, I think that they're starting to do volume that's bigger than a lot of centralized exchanges. I think that Hyperliquid perpetuals, I heard someone say, does more volume now than OKX perpetuals. So
really,
like now it just that's it. That's the new exchange. The old exchange still exists, but like this is really, as someone who talks to, you know, at least 2-3 new businesses every single day, trying to pitch them why they should add Dash or being pitched or whatever. My strategy is very different now. I don't really care about any centralized exchanges for the most part. It's only like partially because Dash is in a lot of them already, but also it's just, it has to be strategic. Like, what can I get as a result of this? And like, can I get, if I get on Gemini, can I get a bit license? Those kinds of things, big strategic pieces. But other than that, I just don't care. Like, it's a lot of work. They always want like market makers or integration fees, or something like that, and then they can just delist you for no reason and not tell you why. Like, I'd rather get into some sort of a DEX protocol that just can be used anywhere, and then just get as many of those as possible. That's the future, and I think that that's really it. Where you have Europe is banning all privacy coins middle of next year, probably from custodians.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, the new AMLR, unfortunately, again, me dealing with lawyers and stuff, which is it's not great. But then it's that, then it's India, and then it's Dubai, and there's all these places, but like it just no one cares anymore, which is beautiful.
It is beautiful, and I'm hoping that kind of spreads. And I just wanted to highlight this, Shuby, man. I'm so sorry to hear this, man. 60 hours without power. I mean, now in fairness, he did have a generator, but I mean, even with that, holy cannoli, man. I'm so sorry, Shub. Take care. Be safe, man. Be safe.
I'm gonna grab the link and throw it in the chat.
Okay. Link for joining?
Oh no, for the stream. Doobie's got a request for that. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because of X. I see. I got you. Well, while you're doing that, let me kind of frame up what we're going to be talking about, the articles we're going to be touching on. And let me just say, for those who are on YouTube, the links to everything that we're discussing, or Patreon for that matter, because we're also on Patreon right now. The links that we're going to be discussing are all in the description. Make sure you go ahead and check those out, including the one we just talked about with India. So go ahead and check that. But basically, I started reading a bunch of stuff because, again, I'm in this stuff 24/7 pretty much. And I started seeing a few articles and stuff like, the U.S. is, blowing smoke at Davos, and then Tether with their help me, Genius Act compliant stable coin. And then I saw the article we just referenced about Vitalik. And then, of course, the final article we're going to go through, where it's, okay, maybe this is the next battle that's going to be waged in crypto. And I started kind of piecing it all together. I'm like, damn, they're walking us this way, or at least that's what I felt. Maybe you guys will tell me I'm crazy, and I'm okay with that. But I'm okay with that. But
it's a nice gentle push. That's what it is.
Hey, man, don't need to be gentle. Let her rip. Let her rip. Okay.
Like so, when she says that.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Set me up for that one. I'm sorry.
I did. It was like right there. Softball. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So the Patrick Witt, a White House advisor, basically talking at Davos, an interview he had with CoinDesk about talking at Davos. And basically, I'll just go through the points here and then we can kind of go into the next thing and then hash it out a little bit. The administration aims to strike a balance between traditional finance and the new crypto entrants, okay, and create a symbiosis where they can coexist. The customer benefit, there's customer benefit from this competition, and the president renewed his pledge to establish the U.S. as the undisputed crypto capital of the world. And then it goes a little bit further into what was supposed to be going on. We know about the Clarity Act going through Congress right now, et cetera, et cetera. And again, to me, a lot of what's there and what was said seems very much to me to be more of the same with regard to the Trump administration. Again, let me just touch on this and then you guys can, again, tell me I'm crazy here. But then I saw this and Tether unveils, and this happened today, USAT stablecoin for U.S. institutions. And basically, the tokens issued by Anchorage Digital Bank, which is, I think, the only crypto bank right now, right? Nationally chartered, et cetera, et cetera. USAT is intended to comply with the requirements under the Genius Act. And basically, this was disclosed at the end of 2025. And here we are. That's where they brought Bo Hines out of the Trump administration and brought him over to Tether. And then right here, the official launch, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. But to me, those things are very telling about where they're trying to move things. Here you are, you're telling everybody what you're planning on doing with the plumbing of the crypto system, and now you're doing it with the Genius Act and with stablecoins. Okay, I'll shut up now. What do you guys think there?
I'm going to let Joel jump in here because I know he has a little bit of an opinion on.
Yeah, this is
just a little
kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted in how I think about Tether because it's on the one hand one of the biggest sort of scams in the crypto space, kind of at scale, and on the other hand, it's also one of the most successful businesses with a product market fit that knows how to make money by giving people exactly what they want. It's kind of both of those things at the same time.
True.
And so Tether had two big business models, kind of. The one was to be able to sort of print money out of thin air in terms of you could just say, this is worth $1 and we have backing. We say we do, but not all in dollars. And no, we won't let you audit us. Like that cheat code, the infinite money glitch, as they call it, right? That sort of cheat code was one of those things. And the other one was the dollar for the world that does not have an access to a dollarized bank account or bank accounts. And they've done phenomenally in both of those. And neither of those things really flies too well in the US for, a variety of reasons. But like, for example, I think that Tether started to become one of the most popular cryptocurrencies on darknet markets. I mean, for a while, it was just Bitcoin, and then it was Bitcoin and a few others. And then it was mostly Bitcoin and Monero, but especially Monero doing most of the heavy lifting. And then Tether started to eat into Monero's market share because it was just easy, liquid. You could just do, even though you could surveil and actually censor Tether transactions, it was just so globally available that you could, it was just more useful. And so that's kind of the market share. But the US being like one of the largest crypto markets right now, again, the crypto capital of the world, loading. If you're being excluded from that market, that does really suck. But so then Tether had, a dilemma, as they say. On the one hand, just embrace the darkness, be the sketchy dollar of the world, do all that stuff, and just say, we don't need the Yanks. On the other hand, like reform, leave your like old mafia business behind and like open a restaurant, metaphorically, right? Just do the step into the light and be reformed. And they said, ¿Por qué no los dos? Like, let's just do both. Let's just do Tether, USDT for, USAT for the streets, USDT for the sheets. That's kind of the way they decided to do.
Why ruin a good thing?
Yeah. So it's genius the way they did it. I don't think I'd look too much into it of the administration involvement, other than just Tether's smart and they knew they had to buy off someone to get good treatment. And so that's kind of it. But it's going to be like,
no doubt,
USAT, USDC, PYUSD, PayPal's, one as well, and a few other big ones just fighting it out for dominance in the US markets. And so, it's going to be interesting to see. And I wonder if we're going to see, I'd like to see which one makes them more money, the light or the dark.
I can guess, but yeah. Do we know if there's collateral or audits that's going to go along with the USAT? Has that been announced?
Yes. Well,
I think that's built into the Clarity Act, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it built in? Okay.
They have to have like dollar for dollar bank backing in bank accounts, and they have to have regular audits.
US
according to the law.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or I think
I know they're buying gold
as well. Okay. But like it has to be dollar equivalent. It can't be like gold and Bitcoin and other weird stuff. Okay. So it's by the law they have to do that. So that now they just have like the separate storefront. It's just like the Breaking Bad, the car wash business, and then they got the other business in the back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, nothing new under the sun.
There you go. And I just wanted to put this up there. There you go. Go Pats. If you're doing the football thing, and welcome, by the way, Electric Batman. I was also going to bring this up real quick. I am completely unfamiliar with this at all. Joel, as something maybe in your chats about different privacy items you've heard about, and he followed up with, and welcome, by the way, he followed up with this.
US Cloud Access.
I am completely unfamiliar.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Swiss subnet specifically, but there's an interesting sort of conflict happening between the US and one of its former appendages, Europe, which is it's manifesting over tech, where X is, of course, the relative bastion of free speech. Again, certain terms and conditions apply, but as far as centralized stuff, it's about as good as it gets. And a lot of European governments aren't liking that because it poses some problems to a lot of the regimes over there. So they've been trying to sue X and fine and all this kind of stuff. And now you see the US is sort of starting to fight back, basically saying, you all run on our cloud infrastructure. We're going to go start doing that. And so now Europe is scrambling to figure out a way to deal with that. I think that temporarily, at least, that's definitely not good for business for anyone's side, right? Just we do better with global cooperation. I do think it's funny trying to build just like I've heard there are Europe only sort of payment cards being developed and things like that, and just to get away from Visa, MasterCard, and it's kind of a dumb way of approaching it, but this should be the wake-up call to shed centralized dependencies. This should be where you start to go use decentralized solutions, and then no country can be beefing with you and say, we're going to shut off your supply of whatever. And I mean, we've seen some things like that with, for example, Starlink being able to help in countries where they have shut off the internet due to protests, things like that. There should be some lessons kind of learned here. But it's kind of funny to watch play out like this.
Yeah, I agree, and it's I don't know, maybe it's again just me, but it's it's going in slow motion. It's you can watch the crash coming, the happening, the fall, the whatever, and then it's just I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know.
It's gonna be a lot of trial and error.
I was gonna say, I mean, if Bedell was here, I'd say Bedell gave me one of his gummies or something. But
enjoy the ride a little bit.
Hey, Automatic Beast just chimed in here, and Chadwick 129, welcome. We'll get to your question a little bit later because we want to keep kind of going and stay as close to on track as we can. All right. Speaking of on track, you were talking about decentralized options. Well, guess who agrees with you, Joel? Mr. Buterin agrees that we need more decentralization and privacy tools here in the cryptocurrency space. Can you believe that? I mean, anyway, basically, he's talking, and he goes through throughout this article, basically talking about how he's replaced a lot of his centralized online things with now privacy first alternatives. And he's arguing that users should stop sending large volumes of personal data over centralized services. Well, hello. The comments frame privacy tools not as a niche crypto product, but as an everyday software solution linked to personal computing habits and to the broader debates about the digital autonomy. And again, links are in the description. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but I don't know. I was, I guess, happy to some degree to see that Vitalik is out there because whether you like him or don't, he's got a voice here in the space. Yeah. He's got a following. So I like that he is putting privacy first forward because I think it's something that definitely needs to be discussed. You guys got any additions you want to throw in on that?
Yeah, well, it's definitely nice to see privacy tools. It's sort of like trying to fix a problem that he helped create.
Yes.
When it comes to at least the crypto space, but with definitely the tools that he mentioned are some of the ones that I've used as well. And he's pointing out a real problem when it comes to end-to-end encryption. Like there's a lawsuit that's happening right now with WhatsApp where their end-to-end encryption is not actually real.
Yes.
The company has complete access to data that's in there. So that's just a whistleblower that's courageous enough.
Facebook and privacy like peanut butter and jelly.
Right. Exactly. So there's a real problem with trusting corporate entities. Like you have to have decentralization at some point if you really want to have fast, secure, real private transactions.
Let me throw this out there, and then Joel, please jump right in here. But look, we just had the sale of TikTok to who? Oracle. So like, hello, talk about Fox in the hen house there. I'm just saying. And I see a bunch of you jumping on in there. Crypto Billy, decentralized, creative, welcome. I'm probably missing people, but appreciate you being here. All right, go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Oh,
yeah, no, I just wanted
there's the WhatsApp thing. Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that up just in case people are not aware of this because this is somewhat recent. This lawsuit. This is the one that's actually underway right now.
There you go.
Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, it's funny to see also on this is Elon Musk chimed in on this, and I don't want to get you demonetized on X or whatever, but like he said something about it's terrible, and he mentioned something like Signal is questionable. He says use X, and then
use our app.
Someone who I know like quoted him and basically said, look, Signal is run by a nonprofit. It's very rigorously tested code. All it does is its thing. Whereas X Chat has been audited and they found like 5 significant vulnerabilities a few years ago, or 6 or something like that, and they fixed 3 of them. 2 are not fixed, and 1 is like they're not sure about. And so it's just like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that, really. And of course, he knows this. I think he's just trying to promote his product, which I can't blame him for. Then also, Pavel Durov did the same. That's the CEO of Telegram. And Telegram is the leaky faucet of all leaky faucets. So a lot of people are trying to pile on WhatsApp who, are in glass houses, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right now the best one I think is supposed to be Signal. I haven't actually tried X, but aren't they supposed to open source their code for the platform soon, so we can actually check it out for ourselves? And
I think so. I think Signal should be open source, right? I thought
Signal's open source. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Signal is. The X platform is supposed to go open source as well.
Algorithm. There's only the problem with open sourcing something like X, and again, I think you need to build decentralized alternatives. So this isn't a problem. But the problem is it's hard to open source every element of a commercial product where someone could just steal it and copy it and just do the exact same thing. And even the best open source apps don't always have everything open source. They just have like the crypto wallets. They have all the fundamentals, all like the basic thing, all how the wallet works, but all the little bells and whistles from third parties that help you do other things. You can't really open source those things, or you could, but you know, so yeah, there's only so much you can kind of do. I think I do like, again, no one in the past in central, like Facebook's not telling you their algorithm. They're not telling you how things work. X is kind of telling you, and then it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
There you go. And listen, we need more stuff on the blockchain, decentralized stuff like this. I was literally talking about it last night on the stream I was on, and saying like we need more decentralized social media options here in crypto. But
listen,
we don't.
No, I'm just saying it depends on if you have time at the end of the show or something, or maybe a different show. I could do a demo, but that's a different thing.
Ooh, okay. I'll make a note.
We got time. We have time.
Oh,
yeah. Let's finish the agenda.
Time. There it is.
Let's finish the agenda first, and then
sure.
And I promise I will like speed run it as well.
Okay, no problem. Well, I mean, I'm going to assume you guys agree with what the base of what Vitalik is saying about needing like decentralized privacy options here in the space and so on and so forth. Is there any that you would say, yeah, man, check this out? Especially Joel, any that you would, because you talk with all these developers, that kind of thing. So that's why I'm kind of pointing at you here at this point.
Yeah. So for crypto transaction privacy, that's kind of the most familiar thing. I would definitely say any of the top privacy coins will work pretty well. I have to say probably Zcash has the most ironclad privacy right now, if that's your number one thing. And again, this is me as someone who is, financially incentivized to say something else maybe, but again, we're working on it. We're working on catching up in some ways. There's some stuff that can't say yet, but if you just use the privacy function of these things, you don't use KYC, like you give up your ID, and you protect your IP address, your network level privacy by using a VPN or like Tor or something like that. And then there you go. That mostly will do your job for you. And I think obviously there's so much I'm glossing over, so many variables about.
Yeah.
But for the average person, just like use Dashless privacy features, use Monero, use Zcash, use Xano. Firo is another really good one. And then if you're using these EVM type chains, I know the folks at Railgun, if you run it through the Railgun contract, you have some pretty good privacy there. There's a couple, I'm not nearly as familiar with the Solana ecosystem, but I was talking with a couple today that do the same kind of stuff. It's like a zero knowledge contract. If you run it through Solana, you can do those things, but just do your research on that. And that mostly will do most of things. The thing is, things get really weird when you start trying to be like a ghost, like secret agent man there. For if you just like have a secure OS that isn't spying on you, like Linux, like you can handle Ubuntu. Ubuntu's not that hard, or Mint or whatever.
User friendly.
It's fine. If you can figure that out, you can use Brave browser, which looks 99% like Chrome. If you use Graphene OS on your phone, have a de-Googled phone, that's a little bit more of a step. But if you use those basic things and then just do this, 99% of people won't really be able to see anything. It's only state level actors and stuff. And just removing all that data from collection, where you're just being like mass collected all your data. You say something and then TikTok picks it up and hits you with ads on Instagram. Like, where did that come from? You just do the basics, and I think that you're going to be much, much better.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah. He named quite a few. This is the other problem, is convenience makes me lazy. So it's hard for me to switch over to a lot of these privacy apps that he was talking about. There's a hurdle, right? There's a little bit of a hurdle of just getting used to the functionality, getting used to features that may not be there. And for convenience, it's there for free when you use Google services and stuff like that. But yeah, privacy comes with a price. He named quite a few applications like Fileverse. I've never even heard of Fileverse. I probably should have known that one. But there was quite a few in that list there. If people are looking at that article of some apparently very solid applications to use daily. Have you heard of a lot of the applications, CCM? Or are you currently using any of them?
I didn't even hear Fileverse either. I had to go look it up. To be completely honest with you, a lot of I don't store my files in their decentralized cloud anyway. I have a gapped drive that I put my important stuff on, but the stuff like VPNs, we've talked about it. We've had them on the show. I use Deeper Network, love it. I've used TorGuard in the past. It's good, for what it is. Those are my things that I use to promote that privacy aspect of things.
Absolutely.
So let's go to this last piece, and then we can beat out some of the rest of this. Okay, crypto's next battle for privacy is for privacy, and it says the other part of this is the chicken and egg problem that regulators are facing. I'll give you the basic outline right here, and then I'll give you the skinny on the chicken and egg problem that I had AI just put it together for me to make it easy. Anyway, financial privacy is becoming the next structural battle in crypto, and neither governments nor technology are fully prepared for the mass digital surveillance or large-scale privacy. Institutional adoption of cryptos is accelerating, and more banks and payment companies test blockchain for settlements. But the technology itself exposes transaction data to the public. And basically this quote right here, this is why, even though blockchain transparency is a feature and not a bug, it does not work for large-scale use without some form of privacy. And I agree. And then they talk about trying to build in that privacy right here with the ZK feature. And I'm going to read the breakdown of what the AI put together. Basically, the AI summarizes it like this. Zero knowledge proofs are the technical solution, allowing for verification without revealing data. However, regulators won't give clarity until they see it work at scale, and the industry won't build it at scale without regulatory clarity. So hence chicken and egg. But I agree with the fact that, I've been saying it for a while now. Privacy coins are going to be huge. And I said 2026. I'd like to say, yay me. But here's the thing. It sucks that they got to be, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It sucks that they got to be. All right, guys. What do you think? I mean, what's your takeaway on those?
Yeah, the chicken and egg thing is kind of interesting. Sometimes you just got to lead with one, and then the other presents itself. And I think that sometimes with crypto, we forget who we are and what we do here. We forget that we created something that's supposed to be decentralized, censorship resistant, and completely without the ability to shut it down. And that you can have a completely anonymous founder with no VC funding who just kind of launches this thing and puts a very explicitly sort of contrarian / political message in the very Genesis blog about the bank bailouts. And like, this is our heritage. This is where we come from. So my kind of little bit more Zen take on all that is value is value. At the end of the day, you should just build stuff that does good stuff and don't worry about the rest so much. And so that's kind of the thing with privacy is, do you think it's good? Yeah, I think it's good. So then build it and make it better and put it out there. And if it is valuable, people will use it.
People will use it.
And they will use it. And some people will be too scared to use it because the government banned it. Other people will be too scared to use it because the government hasn't banned it, but just hasn't said a lot on it. And they're just waiting to see because it's risky and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And eventually we just get what we want. We get it all the way through there. And the big thing I have to emphasize whenever I talk in these kinds of like contrarian ways is remember that while crypto isn't censorship resistant, you are able to be censored as a human meat sack. And like, for example, I've known I came into crypto a little, like the first Bitcoin I ever got was like a month or two before the Silk Road got shut down. And I've known Ross Ulbricht's mother for many years in her long, tireless battle to get him out. And now he's actually out, but it was looking like he never would be. Right. And that could be you. So be careful. I'm not trying to get anyone, you know, thrown in jail or whatever. All that being said, where we are today is unthinkable 17 years ago. We would never be thinking that any government would tolerate a different kind of money just being out there that they don't control, because every last one, they sent the founders to prison. Right. It's every last one. And people don't remember that, like, even Peter Schiff's father died in prison for writing books on the tax system. And there's like a lot of progress we've made. We've decentralized so many things because we just built fast, got tons of users, got tons of, well, not enough users, got tons of capital, got a bunch of other stuff. And eventually the government just had to be like, all right, you can do it. But we want you to keep these guidelines. Let's write it up. Let's get entrenched so that the next set of people, the next set of Brian Armstrongs, Jesse Powell's, Winklevoss twins, etc., can literally buy an election, let's be honest, and just make sure that their business interests, which are thankfully mostly aligned with the business interests of decentralization and a free money system, that those end up winning out and being represented. So yeah, just build good stuff that works, stuff that you care about. And the will they, won't they thing is for big companies and institutions and governments to sort of sort.
Fair enough. I just want to bring up a couple of quick comments. Paranoia is so far ahead that it's not even going to matter, basically, is what he's saying when it comes through to the privacy issue. And then he's follows up in another comment basically saying, you know, it's going to be a long time before regular people kind of get it. And I agree with the long time thing, but I mean, I'm not so sure I agree with the so far ahead in the future thing. We're seeing it in Europe now.
Well, let me just do a little bit of a. I'm very much of an optimist, as you can hear. Like, obviously, I think we're doing great, but let me hit you with the dark side of things. Mm-hmm. The AI age has really changed things forever. Where if you think about how like privacy works, you think about any little tidbit of information about you can give everything away. So, and for a while, you could just use crypto, and as long as you didn't tell people it was you and you didn't KYC, no one knew it was you because they just didn't know how to look. But now just about every single pattern can be analyzed. So like, let's just say how many, you can just bulk analyze all public blockchains and say, all right, which ones originated from US IP addresses, which ones originated from these ones, and you just sort of collect that data set. All right, timing analysis, what time of day, what time zones do they correspond to? So if someone's like sending it like 4 a.m. all the time consistently from a US IP, it's probably a VPN user. All right, put that in that bucket. And then you're like, okay, this amount here. Well, we know this came from Binance in this amount. And then it went dark, but we kind of think that there could be at most this much money that got withdrawn in Litecoin, let's just say, from all exchanges at some point. And then, well, as soon as you start to like cross out some of those, then you're like, well, this group, this has to be that one person because of this. And then someone's social media post says, you know, hey, thanks for the Litecoin, whatever. And then they timestamp it, figure out where you live. And okay, correlate it all. There we go. We got a profile. And you can just do that over and over and over again with compute. You just start running it all through. And it's not like, oh, the LLMs are out now that can do this. So therefore, anything I did before was private. No, everything you did before is
like because they're going back to scoop it up. Yeah.
I mean, like I've been on Twitter since 2012. Like all my posts are public since like 2012 on that stuff. I've been, not super crazy about that stuff, but all that's out there, all that past data, the Bitcoin blockchain again goes back forever. And like all this stuff could come back to haunt you. And so like today, like I'm not even saying like 2 years from now, I'm saying like next year, let's just be careful about what we put out there. And so I don't want to make people be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'll never be able to do, I can't even use any of this stuff. You should, but just be careful how you use it. Do everything as privately as you can. And more importantly, we need to build privacy tools. We need to use privacy tools, and we need to throw money at privacy tools and just keep growing and growing and make sure the privacy tools are usable and they don't like suck to use, so more people use them.
Let me ask, do you think that development of these privacy tools is kind of like a slow and steady growth right now, or do you think it's plateaued? What do you think? What's your thought process?
I think it's going really well and really fast. And the only reason I say that is because I've watched how it has developed over time. So like as a little like history lesson, like, you know, from the old Unk over here, Crypto Unk, which should be what I should call myself from now on. You know, so from, you know, my first Bitcoin wallet was 2013. And I remember 2014 or something like that. They changed it so where I got a new address every time. I didn't even understand it. So I thought because I started with one Bitcoin address I kept reusing. And I was just like, that's just the worst for privacy. But like I had that one address, and then they kept giving me new ones. I didn't understand why eventually. And it's like, okay, well then there's that. Then somewhere around 2013 to 15, I don't remember. So Dash integrated its privacy function in 2014. I think it stands as the oldest still surviving privacy project. And then Monero came out a few months later. At the time, Monero just had a ring signature, so it had a few decoys, but all amounts were public and visible. And Adam Back came out with something called confidential transactions, which is a zero knowledge proof that hides the amounts and balances of addresses. That was meant for Bitcoin, but Monero implemented it in 2017, and the transaction sizes were huge after that. So like 2017, 18, 19, maybe even, I don't remember. But Monero fees were consistently like $2 a transaction for several months in a row because of just how much data this used. It was just unworkable. And then a cryptographic upgrade called Bulletproofs came out, where you manage to do the math that does this hiding like in so much less data. And then all of a sudden the transaction fees went off a cliff because it's now easy to do. I remember the very first Zcash transaction I ever saw someone do in person was 2016 or 17. Someone brought a laptop to a store, and with his command line wallet generated the Sprout pool cryptographic proof for this. And it took him like 10 minutes on a laptop to generate the transaction. And now, several generations way better, way more private, way more solid, the Orchard pool can be generated on a smartphone in like 3-4 seconds. So like I've seen the tech get so much smoother and better. Now there's some ideas with the way Zcash is scaling. There's a project called Tachyon, which would make it so you could scale it a little bit more effectively with the infrastructure to have millions of people. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're still far, I don't know. I would say we're 5 years from everyone can use top level privacy, and you can get a lot of people using it and it works. But like right now we're not there, but you're getting close to this breakthrough, I think.
So then you don't think it's going to take all these, like we're already seeing, you know, India ban it, or privacy coins I'm talking about, seeing, you know, Europe going in that direction. The US, if you ask me, is not far behind. You don't think it's going to take that kind of push for an acceleration in the privacy end of crypto? You think it's just going to kind of get there within the next, by the end of this decade? Let's go with that.
I think we're seeing the acceleration now. Like you're seeing the market throw money into it, even despite all this uncertainty. We're seeing, you know, things do pretty well. We're seeing the US sort of call off a lot of problems, but then the rest of the world starting to ratchet things up. And then, as we said, with the DEXs, we're seeing it not be a problem anymore. So I think it's really going to escalate, and I think probably what we're going to see is, if I were to guess, I think we're going to see a large adoption of privacy assets around the world, And then we're going to see a lot of pressure being put on a lot of these more restrictive governments saying, hey, why can't I need privacy. I got carjacked in Paris because, someone tracked to my ledger that I had this much. And, why can't I do this? Your government's banned this. And they're going to find some kind of a compromise to let a little something back in. I don't know if that means you can have privacy as long as there's a back door,
right?
Which some people might do that kind of stuff. Or there might be a thing where there's just certain requirements. Like if you're using privacy assets, you have to disclose the view keys for the previous 2 or 3 hops, and then everything's fine. And it's going to be a big pain in the ass. People won't want to do it, and it won't really do much, but it will make the regulators feel like they have some power when they don't actually. And then same as cops have always done, they will still find ways of catching criminals who use cash and other things like that. Digital cash will be no different, where they'll still catch people through non-payment means and then just be like, gotcha. So yeah, I think it'll work out. It'll be a little bit of a struggle on this way to working out, but yeah.
Well, hell yeah. It's going to be an interesting few years. I would love to see that timeline before the end of the decade, frankly, but I get it. I get it. Technology can only go so fast. Jar, I've been sitting here like stepping all over you, brother. Feel free.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. When he was talking about just the use of AI, of filtering data and able to just take samples and sort of eliminate by just the process of elimination, and then layer that with social credit scores and everything else that it could be used alternatively, it gets scary. Like my head was just going down the wrong path as he was talking about this, and I'm thinking about the worst outcome, but there is definitely a positive outcome. And I like what you're talking about with these the ZK and everything else that we're going down that path. 5 years is still pretty far out. I'm wondering, things could still change in that timeline as well, couldn't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of technological breakthroughs and advancements in math and cryptography that could help. I think the problem is, maybe the big problem I would say is a lot of people aren't using crypto at scale, and there's a lot of still intentional throttling of crypto. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum still have like a couple transactions a second, and that's it. And they're just not interested in changing that, really. And then you have like, there's still this sort of idea where if you have a Solana or something that it has to be sketchy to do those volumes. I mean, I think Solana is a little sketchy, but for other reasons than just the volumes. The tech seems pretty cool. And so, yeah, there is no backdoor to real decentralization. Is absolutely right that we need to kind of focus on that kind of stuff. And I think the tech is sort of ready at scale to get pretty far. The thing about, like, I don't know if you've heard of the blockchain trilemma. It's kind of it's sort of a misnomer in some ways. And first of all, you're not always limited by those things. You can advance technologically to where all three get better at the same time. Yes. But also it's not necessarily 3 points. It's more like 4 points. I like to call it like a quadrilemma, because you could do, security, decentralization, scale, but then also features, or what are you scaling? So if you have something with no privacy, you can have it very decentralized, secure, and high scale. But then when you add in privacy, then that starts to like draw down on the scale part a little bit. Or when you start to add complex computations like smart contracts, that does put some strains, and then makes you have to kind of wiggle it around a little bit. But ultimately, you can make technological breakthroughs that expand all of those points. And I think that right now, if you wanted to do privacy at scale, you might have to do some trade-offs, but not for that much longer. That's the next few years where I think we'll figure it out. It's not that we can't do it now. It's just that the trade-offs are kind of ugly and clunky right now.
Clunky. Yep. Let me ask you this. Okay. This is probably, I should ask at the end here, but so if you were like, I have people now starting to approach me all the time with like, hey, I'm kind of new, I'm learning, but what would you suggest where I put a few dollars? You know what I'm saying? What do I throw some money in? And as much as this is not financial advice, old guy interwebs, it's still, I like to try and point them to a few, do your research, figure it out. Do you do that? And if so, do you point them to privacy coins? I'm not asking for a specific one, but like, is privacy coins part of the mix?
Jar, what do you want to say first on this? And I'll follow up on.
Well, no, Monero was usually the one that would lean towards. Crypto in general, I don't like to give advice to newcomers in the space because I've burnt a lot of bridges when it comes to me putting out my opinion on specific coins. So it always falls into, I give the top 5 cryptos that are on exchanges and do your own research. And I usually just leave it at that. I don't really like to dive into
DYOR, baby.
Yeah, because a lot of the coins and projects I dive into are extremely high risk, and majority of them just go to zero. So I don't like to talk about the projects I'm actually involved in.
Yes, that makes sense. I am not an investor, so for me, I've just earned all my crypto, and I think sometimes I think I should make more conscious decisions of where I allocate it, but it tends to just be based on utility, which at the end of the day might actually be the smart way of doing things to begin with. So my thought process is, I think of what is cool, good, and useful. Like, okay, does privacy is a big thing? So what does privacy? Sure. Is it also decentralized? Does it, etc.? All like whatever, cool feature here. Oh, this cross-chain DEX lets you swap instantly from that's valuable, whatever. You do this collection of like, the tech is cool. And then there's also, I would say it's like half tech is cool and half, are there a bunch of idiots involved, or are there people who know how to build something people want and sell something, like take it to market? And so probably the thing where now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sort of reprising something I said on the other show earlier today, but it's basically, if there's like an overlap of those two Venn diagrams, tends to be like the sweet spot, right? Where you have like, let me just give a quick example of like two cryptos that are very good, but one more than the other, maybe a little bit. And I don't want to make like I'm talking smack by saying this. One of my favorite projects that's outside of Dash is something called Firo. Used to be called Zcoin. What I like about that is it has a very high level of privacy, is zero knowledge privacy, and it also has instant transaction settlement with that privacy, which I think is like one of the only ones that does it. That's not that, it's not Dash, but Dash doesn't have like the zero knowledge type stuff yet. And so it's kind of ahead of its time on that, has a lot of the same things that Dash does as far as like security, a hybrid security model, a bunch of other stuff. It's got some like built-in username feature. Oh, it's got a lot of stuff that I would be like, this is one of my top contenders as far as like tech. But it's also like a very small project that has been sort of relegated to, a lot of like Southeast Asian users, but like not a lot of integrations and things. Whereas with Dash, it's in everything now. And half of it was because I worked really hard at that personally, but the other half was before that. Like there's just on exchanges, payment processors, spending tools. And then there's people that are willing to like work hard to push it up. And so I would say both of those are like really good from the tech perspective, but I spend a lot of my time working in the Dash world because I see growth trajectories. And so like Solana, for example, has a lot of great tech. It's got a lot of stuff I don't like the centralized roots of things, the high VC allocations. And there's just a lot of other stuff that I'm just like uneasy about. But at the same time, they have sold and built stuff on and gotten tons of users. And it's like, well, I don't know, that kind of have to grudgingly go along with that. And so that's kind of my mindset on that, is like, what is good and useful, and then what is being actually hustled and pushed and effectively, and then just find a crossover there somewhere, and that's probably going to do pretty well. And that's what I have to say. It's not just privacy coin. This last year has been great because for my own personal like ego / X cred from all this talking smack I've been doing, because it's not just the privacy assets, it's also OG coins. Like Bitcoin Cash has been doing really well compared to Bitcoin this last while. You've had stuff like Digibyte's not really a privacy coin. They're doing decent. Decred sort of slipped in there a little bit as well. That's like there's a bunch of these OG type projects that are all going in, and like it used to be the top 20, 30 or first page of CoinMarketCap was like pure slop, just nothing good. And now it's like a lot of ones that I have some kind of respect for are like coming back up, and I'm like, yes. But that's like the fundamentals kind of thing. I think you cannot outrun fundamentals. And the last thing I'll say on that is there's a reason why dino coins, as I call them, are kind of making a comeback, is because it's really hard to replicate, not impossible, but it's hard to replicate a lot of the decentralization elements that they have baked in. So like, for example, you have Bitcoin, no VC, no nothing. Litecoin, no VC, no nothing. Dash, no VC, no nothing. Monero, no VC, no nothing. And then you got like Zcash, which is like, well, you had some people, that's the Zcash is like the turning point of like, you needed to have some corporate interests and money to get something off the ground. And then Solana is like, according to one of those Clarity Act versions going through the Senate, the criteria would put Solana as a hybrid CFTC SEC overseen asset, and that the distribution and everything was so crappy that the SEC has to be involved. It's like a semi-security. And so like, but Solana did well, but it had to have all this VC capital. So like, I don't know if you could just start a decentralized project that doesn't have a bunch of people pulling the strings in the background. It's hard to launch that in 2026, I think. So the OG ones sort of got this like, it's like the last train. They got on the last train out of the decentralized land.
Way out the station. Oh man. I don't know if you want to take a second to give your opinions. I know you've talked about Litecoin and Mimblewimble in the past there, Joel.
What I would say on MWeb is, and I've had to think about this a lot, it's probably one of the top two. It's very high in the privacy scale as far as the most like well-engineered for how hard you had to work to do it kind of things. It's just like it's probably the biggest bang for your buck privacy solution out there, if I were to be honest about that. Again, I don't promote anything that has MWeb, so you could tell I'm not like paid to do that. But it's because it has confidential transactions and then a basic sort of mixing thing. That's how Mimblewimble works, to sort of combine stuff. And so you get a very lightweight, and also, as I mentioned, privacy adds extra data. Mimblewimble, of course, MWeb takes the transaction sizes are like larger, so it takes more like bandwidth to do. But the actual remaining stuff that's stored by the blockchain is like pruned significantly, so you don't have like a bloated hard drive. And it's kind of unique in that. And it's also added in as a soft fork, as an extension block. So Litecoin technically doesn't have privacy features, but then it kind of does. And there's just a lot of like good engineering for this. Like, it's a very like basic sort of, it's like what I would call a basic high level privacy function, in that it's the most basic of the more advanced ones, but it's done in a really smart, elegant kind of way. And so I kind of a little envious on that front of like how well they got that done. So yeah, big props to the Litecoin community.
There you go.
I actually had go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and thanks. You get some thanks for answering that there. Yeah. Go ahead, Jar. I'm sorry.
Wealth knowledge. What I wanted to just slightly bring up is maybe you had some suggestions for this, because as you know, I'm in Canada. We are restricted with a lot of things when it comes to crypto and transacting. One of the tools I recently used was it's called the CAS card. It's a Visa credit card that you can preload it with a stable coin, and you can use it. You could use it anywhere. And I was using it for the last couple of months, and then I received this email letting me know that because of regulatory requirements, they can no longer be processed in Canada. They're shutting down all their operations here, and basically my card is now done. Is there a solution to this that you're aware of when it comes to transacting like a normal person would when they go to the grocery store or the gas station and use crypto for payments? That would be available in countries like mine that we're having these sort of issues.
Yeah, there's trying to think about all the best way of like describing all this. Everything I would say would be a little bit more Dash like bent because I've had like an active hand in like pushing this. So just my knowledge on that is better. There could be some other things. First of all, if you don't, there's a reloadable private Dash card right now that the problem for Canada would be a Forex fee. And if you don't mind a Forex fee, if I just want to be able to spend it, then it's no problem. But it's a Zebek they've been making a lot of splash. In fact, they're I think World Liberty Fi, whatever it's called, is using them for their stablecoin stuff or something. I don't know. I didn't look too far into the announcement, but there's a Zebek carbon card, USD denominated. You can load it with Dash, and I don't know if it'll let you do it from a Canadian IP address, but you know what a VPN is, so that should be fine. So it's private, and you can also reload it, which is very rare in the crypto world. So okay. That's kind of like the old steady. There might be some others, but like I haven't done tons of research into Canada specifically. Yes, that should be it. I know they're in the middle of like changing over their interface. Like that's the middle one right there, the carbon one. Okay. So that would be one. I know there are some expansions in the DashPay wallet into Canada, such as, I didn't realize this, by the way, there's Yelp has gift cards that you could spend at a lot of Yelp merchants, like merchants that are listed on Yelp. I did not know. I didn't learn about it until it popped up in the Dash wallet, and I think it's live in the US, but I think it's in Canada as well or something. I don't know. There's a little bit of confusion on that because it's just coming out. Yeah. And then of course, if you want to pay bills, as far as I know, there's a couple companies like Bitcoin Well that let you pay bills. As far as I know, Bitcoin Well is Bitcoin only. I've been trying to hassle with them, but again, Canadian regulations make it so that it's hard for them to accept other cryptos. But we're working on a solution for that as well, built into the Dash wallet. So I pretty much, hopefully within like a couple months, you can spend your Dash at Bitcoin Well to pay for cryptos, pay for your bills and stuff. So,
and I believe Bitcoin Well just went KYC as well.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they did.
If you want to operate here, they pretty much have to.
Yeah, they were surprisingly not KYC for a very long time.
Very long time. I was using. A matter of fact, that's what I was using to pay fiat and transfer it into crypto. And then they said, nope, sorry, can't do that no more because we got changes coming. Next thing I know, I was starting to see emails about KYC and all this other stuff. No. Needless to say, I don't use Bitcoin Well anymore. So there we go.
Yeah, well, so to pay bills, it's really hard to escape that. There is one company called Zipdo that does no KYC bill pay. I don't know if they support Canada. They did not last time I checked, but could check that out. Let me see.
I think Spritz.
Spritz, as far as I know, is US only. I think they have cards which might work in I don't know if they could be Canadian denominated at least. Yeah. But let me see. There's this. There is an interesting. I'll maybe use you as a guinea pig if you don't mind, because there is a company that works with some Dash entities called Piggy Cards that has a prepaid private card that is, I think, denominated in CAD. So maybe that'll work. I'll send you the link and you can tell me. Let me just look at it. Say, I'll send it to you in the private chat to see if you want to check it out later. Again, if I was in Canada, I would try this out and just be able to show for real. But it could be a solution. And oddly enough, like some of the more hardcore crypto spender people that I know are in Canada as well. So I can probably bounce.
Well, they found a way.
Yeah. I can bounce my knowledge off of them too.
Okay. Yeah. And that's the hard part, is that there's a lot of people that want to do it. It's just the access and the restrictions are always there. It's always an extra hurdle. Getting a prepaid Visa makes it very simple because Visa is accepted everywhere, or MasterCard, or whatever credit card is. Getting a gift card is very specific to one location and how you can use it. That's the restrictions, right? When you want to use it. So there's just a lot of time that's going to take for us to get over that hurdle here. I think this is the one that you were talking about, right? Picky cards.
Yes, and you can get you can save on some stuff. They are integrated directly into the Dash wallet. I don't know if they are for Canada yet, because again, every time you go do something, every time you want to do something, there's just the regulatory hurdles are not just one thing. It's just like every step. Like, do you have a liquidity provider? You get this thing.
Such a pain. Yeah.
Excellent. Listen, guys, we're already over an hour. I appreciate Joel you being here, man. This has gone really well, and we got an active chat. Thank you so much. And Jar, there's still one question pending for you, but I know that Joel, you were going to go through something with regard to social media, I think. Do you still feel we got time for that? If not, we can put it
I mean, I do have to leave soon, but I can do a speed run through it and still do it justice. So I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'm going to go share my screen to show something off. And this has been pretty cool. So this is, by the way, what does this say here?
Awesome.
So this is a thing called an app called Yapper. It's on the Dash Evolution testnet. So all these posts, each one of these posts is on the blockchain, and it's all uncensorable and decentralized, but actually performant and works. You don't need a backend server to run this. You don't need an indexer. You can just point at this. And so it's pretty much like a full featured X thing. You get following for you. You got all this kind of stuff. You have nothing spicy is in here, but this is, by the way, the last page to be optimized, but you have end-to-end encrypted DMs that are on the Dash blockchain as well, which get, and you can do some really cool stuff, such as I registered all these usernames on the blockchain. And so unlike X, where you just get one, you can just have a bunch of them in case people don't know how to look you up. And so you can do CryptoJar, the Jar Man, Jario59 or whatever.
Jario, I like that one. There you go.
It's a Mia Jario. Have that too. Just whatever you got. You can just stack them, and then someone can look up any of these and get there. The cool thing too is you can add a tip address, and someone can just send you money right there.
Nice.
And so same thing with someone like this person. You can tip them directly with a message. You can also send to a different address, etc. So it's like decentralized X that does a lot of cool stuff extra. And we're going to really be like pushing this pretty hard, because it would be really interesting, because also, let me look at the settings. If you use the Dash Pay wallet, you can add people as contacts to pay them, and you can send private payments to username and contact lists on the Dash network. And if you use that same wallet, private keys, whatever, to get into this Yapper app, you can just press this button and it finds all your contacts you already pay and sees if they're on here, and you can auto follow them. So it's like a whole marriage of everything. It's like rapidly catching up to X, but plenty past it in terms of like the monetization things. And of course, you own all your own data. It's all online. If they take down the website for whatever reason, just a different URL points to it, and it's all there. Your contacts are there, all the threading for everything, it's all there, and censorship resistant. And then the second part of this, who remembers Open Bazaar? I don't know if you remember from back.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I do. That's old school right there.
Yes. So Yahoo Finance, CoinDesk, it was a big deal, right? Open Bazaar was the successor to the Silk Road, sort of, in that it was not a website, but it was a decentralized protocol for commerce, and it got a lot of hype and stuff. I think they raised like 9 million, which was massive for like 2016, like as far as crypto is concerned. Like, and now 9 million doesn't make anything.
Yeah,
it was really cool. People loved it, all that stuff. And then unfortunately, Open Bazaar shut down in 2021 because they could not make it really work at scale. Everything was too clunky. The infrastructure sucked, everything like that. The indexers, you had to run your own indexer to like let people search for items and stuff. And it just, the tech was too early. Well, guess what? Into this Yapper thing, there's a whole decentralized e-commerce platform built in.
Oh,
in fact, I put one here too. This is my own personal compliment store. Pay me and I'll DM you a personalized compliment. You got a small compliment, whatever. Add to cart. Yeah, I don't want this Dash shirt anymore. And then you can check out, you do your whatever, and then you have a checkout where now you can pay with crypto and you can attach all that. So the cool thing is not only do you have a store, like an online business that can't be shut down, but when someone sends you an order, it's an end-to-end encrypted order file that has all the order details. So you never say, oh, I lost the order or the server went down, I can't access my email. You got it. And if someone tries to screw you around, you can have a cryptographic proof that you ordered this at this time with this payment all built in there, and there's no weaseling around that kind of stuff. And so it's hasn't been published to the mainnet yet because there's just some stuff being worked out, but you can manage your orders, your shopping cart. You can mark them as like Splowak, he paid me something, I gave him a compliment. I said he's a very handsome man who works here hard and he smells good too. And here's the payment. And this is again all on the blockchain. And once you can go to the testnet.platform-explorer.com and look through all the transactions. You'll see all this here. And again, the stuff is private though. But the point is, especially if you don't have a physical store, if you have you could run a clandestine legal advice clinic, for example, right here, where people could just put in or say, hey, this is what I have. And then you pay them, and then you just get the receipt, which has the legal advice. And then, hey, you're practicing law without a license, whatever. Who's going to shut you down? You can't be shut down. Not this saying you should, by the way. I'm just saying that's
right.
Yeah.
And so you could run like a coding thing where people are vibe coding all over the place now. Unfortunately, they get bugs a lot of time that Claude can't fix. And you could say, help me with my vibe coding mess. And you can just sit in your computer with this completely decentralized thing and just fix people's code anonymously for money all day long. And there you go. Anywhere in the world. And it can't be shut down. And again, $9 million to build Open Bazaar, and it couldn't work. This was built over this function of Yapper, the store one, was like the last 3 or 4 days as a side project of one of the main Dash developers.
That's insane.
That's the cool part, is that you can build apps really, really easily on this thing. And I mean, obviously I'm bullish on Dash for lots of reasons, but this is a cherry on top. So yeah, I just thought I'd drop that because we mentioned decentralized social media. I'm like, how can I come on here and not show you that?
Right.
So now you said it's still in testing and so on. Can anybody go into test, or you got to get invited or whatever?
No, it's open. It's Yapper, yp.pr. And you go there and there's a sign up process. Just the one thing that there's an extension wallet that's being worked on. It's like a MetaMask style thing that'll make it all easier. So just bear with us with the whole, when you create an account, having to save your keys, just save them in Notepad somewhere and just plug them in as you want. It's not real money anyway, but you can register a bunch of usernames. You could password encrypt your private key so you can log in with the username and password, but the password is unlocks your key. It's stored on the actual network, so you don't need any other stuff. And then you can just start posting and using, and just try out a test store. You can find me on my many pseudonyms.
Yes, many names. Yes.
Which ones I got, like the Desert Links, TDL, my full name. Linksy Boy is the one I started with on here just to be funny. There's I'm also the Desert Linux. Just look me up. You can send me a DM, and I do check it several times a day, even though it's on testnet. Just hang out and chat, and we'll see what it can be like.
It's interesting.
Nice. I know you said you need to head out pretty soon. But we've got stuff we've got to talk about with peeps before we all head out. Do you want to just say something to everybody before we go? And thank you again for being here, man. I know you're busy, and I called you last minute.
Really appreciate that.
So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. All I would just say is, the only way you really know what works and what doesn't is by using, and therefore you really should start using crypto for everything you can, and if you find out what works and doesn't really fast. So as a curious person or as an investor, I think that makes a lot of sense. But also, I think that we are coming on an age when a lot of the centralized elements of the world are starting to hurt us. But we have decentralized alternatives we can use today. So start learning how to do privacy tools, how to use crypto to pay for stuff, how to use decentralized tools for this, that. Start extricating yourself from the system today, because you'll get a head start on everyone else. When the social credit scores come in, or whatever you want to call it, when that happens, if you're not on the list, that's going to be so nice. If they're this actually happened. A friend of mine who actually was running marketing for the Shapeshift DAO. He just got debanked like 6 months ago. They closed his bank account, personal and business. Thankfully, he was already earning a lot of crypto, so he had a toe in there. But I helped him with the rest of the thing. I can't be debanked, because what are you gonna do? And having a head start on that just makes you so much smoother into this new world. And that's just I would say, just like start getting moving on trying stuff out.
Cool.
Beautiful. Your perspective is super valuable. I'm really happy to have you on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. I got to go bake dinner, or the missus will be angry at me, and then I lose.
We don't want that. We don't want that. Hey, man,
thank you very much.
Thanks again. I know it was last minute, and thank you for being super flexible. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Well, that was amazing. He is very amazing. Links to all of his contact information, except all that yapper stuff we just saw, is in the description. So go ahead and follow Joel. Jar, what did you think, man?
Pardon me?
Said, what did you think?
Oh, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in. And his perspective, I really like just understanding his opinion on privacy and where we're headed, as well as the ability of AI when you layer it on top, and the path that you could take, because it seems like you can go in one direction, or there is a brighter future if you just look at the tools that we have currently and develop on top of them. So yeah, it's really interesting. How about you?
I thought it was great. And like I said, as I was reading this stuff, kind of piecing it all together, and I'm like, man, it definitely comes to what I've been saying, privacy coins. And it's not like I own a tremendous amount of privacy coins. I do use Dash on a regular basis. You know that I've talked about that. And but like privacy coins, I definitely have a small bag of Monero. I have a small bag of Pirate Chain. Happy with those. I'm kind of just holding those aside for when I really need to use. You can't find me. So but I as much as I'm sad that it's coming. In a way, part of me is glad it's coming, because we need to pull some of the power away from these governments.
Yeah, it seems like one way or another, this is going to be happening now. Like, it just seems like it's already cut into the road, and some decisions have to be made. So exposure is everything, and hopefully people are doing their own research and just understanding the different chains that are out there that can help them with this transition.
Yep. Amen. So there was one question. I don't even know if they're still here, because this came in pretty early in the stream. But I thought maybe you'd want to address it. So
yeah, I can address it. There is quite a few. Maybe I'll just show. Just give me a second here. My website, because I actually made a list of a few of them.
Oh, there you go. And Chadwick, hope you're still here, so you can hear this. If not, hopefully you come back and get the answer here for yourself.
Yeah. And one thing I can
everybody that's been in the chat, you guys have been amazing in the chat. We've had near 250 people between X and YouTube. So appreciate everybody.
Yeah. It's a really good turn up today. It's actually, this is more of like referral codes, but I'll just quickly show it up here on the website. There's quite a few dApps that are on the Seeker phone that you can earn with it. One specifically over here called Token Run is the one I've been talking about a lot recently. And the reason for that is you're earning crypto almost immediately When you sign up, you get 20 or 25 geo tokens. And with that, as you're exploring the map and exploring different hexes, you're opening up treasure chests, and you're earning Bonk, you're earning Tesla X, which is on the Solana blockchain. It's a decentralized version of the stock itself. And you can earn a whole bunch of different tokens just by using the app. So there's quite a few of them out there. I made a list, and I'll put this link down in the description for people to explore if they're using their Seeker phone. One other thing I wanted to mention is I'm doing a live stream tomorrow at 1:30. Yeah, so I'll be addressing everything related to the Seeker phone. I know we didn't really talk about it much today. There's been a lot of interest, especially because the token dropped last week and it exploded. My prediction was to just go above a penny. I was just happy if it went above a penny, because most users with their allocation would at least break even with the cost of the device, which is about $500. It exploded. It went over 5 cents. At the peak, if you were in the sovereign category, you're close to cashing into $40,000, which is a hell of a lot of money for anybody. It doesn't matter where you live. $40,000 is a lot of money for using a phone. My category, which is called Luminary, at the top end, you could have made $4,000. I staked half of mine. I took some. Obviously, I can't time the market, so I was just taking what I could to cover the cost of the phone. But it was explosive. It was very interesting. There's a lot of attention on it. So tomorrow on my stream, the mainnet, which is going to be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be diving into it in depth, and I'll be exploring everything along that as well. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. I didn't realize it went
thanks
that
for coming
high
on last week.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, man, you gotta support. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly forgot all about it, so I'm glad you mentioned it just now. So seeing you started with that, do you have anything else coming around over the next week or so before?
No, but last week or the week before, I talked about putting out a video, a how-to guide of setting up an AOS node. I did release that. I released it on Monday. Super simple node to set up, and you can earn with it. Not a lot, but the potential of this Deepin project is quite extreme, and I think it will do very well in the right market. So you can stack the coin by running one of their nodes. The utility and the usage is minimum requirements are fairly low, and I think they have an application for almost every operating system that's out there. So you can go ahead and check that out. But that's what I have so far.
Simple. I watched your video. It seems simple.
It's point and click, especially for Windows. Double click, it's like running any other application. And you can, one thing I didn't point in the video that I should have mentioned is that you can schedule it. So say that you have a low performing PC and it's using the resources that you don't want it to use. You can actually schedule it to run after hours, and then it just runs then, and it shuts itself off when you're going to be using it during whatever block of time. So it's a nice feature that I didn't point out that exists there.
Nice.
Yeah. And what about yourself, CCM? What do you got going on?
Let's see. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., I got my next premiere in the Crypto Mindset Minutes series. Now, the beginning of Crypto Mindset Minutes, so pretty much the entire month of January, I was breaking down sound money. So what are the principles of sound money, gold, silver, Bitcoin, etc. Breaking that all kind of down. And now I'm transitioning into starting to break down the aspects of the fiat system. I'm calling this next segment the core mechanics of fiat money. So it basically I'm gonna break down stuff like the Fed. I'm gonna break down stuff like inflation and so on and so forth. So watch for those. I'm trying to keep up, man. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, it is. You're doing a good job breaking it down, because it's really complex.
It is, and then to try and keep it to like 30 minutes.
That's the other part.
Difficult.
Condense it and make it simplified. Yeah,
exactly. It's difficult. But anyway, so that's tomorrow morning. The next one I'm actually breaking down, because we all the time, or at least I do. I have to really think. I talk about the interchangeability of certain words that basically screw people up when they start thinking about money. Money, the word money, currency, and legal tender. because they all have different meanings, but how many times do you interchange those words? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go spend some money. You're not really. You go in and use your currency. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. That's a nuance. Woo woo. I'm waiting for people to comments in the in the chat. But anyway, so I'm breaking that down because then that'll lead into a lot of this other stuff as I break down the Fed, which is the next one after that. And then let's see. What was I gonna say? Oh, what's that? Transition. Yeah, not that kind of transitioning. Yeah. I know my pronouns. There are none. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, and then let's see, what's today? Oh, and then Friday night, of course, Crypto on the Rocks, and I'm dropping all kinds of clips and shorts. Basically, I have well, let's see. I've got the 2 premieres every week. I've got 3 live streams every week. I've got 3 clips every week and 5 shorts every week. That's
a lot.
That's my new schedule. Yeah,
that's a ton of content.
So that's what's going on for me. But Jar, you know what? Hey, Kevin, appreciate you being here, bud. And we've got to talk about next week.
Yes, we do.
We got JR coming on next week. We're trying to keep bringing you people from different aspects of crypto. We had Joe from Trade Intuition who was in the chat. I don't know if he's still there. If he is, shout out to him. Bingo bango to you, brother. Next week we got JR. Now listen, JR's story, just to give you the skinny, is he basically taught himself how to trade cryptocurrency. Like thousands of hours of self-taught trading. So it's going to be interesting. Now he's kind of helping people. He's got his own channel. He works with the Piper Academy Network. He's in their Discord. He's showing people how to trade. He's gone from the trainee to the trainer here. And he's got a pretty impressive win rate, I'm just going to say, when it comes to these trades. So I'm looking forward to having him on next week.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we can see how that works out. That's going to be really, really nice to see. And I just wanted to pop this up. This is like me buying silver and holding it. I still haven't taken any profit, but always take some profit at some point. If you're going to be holding it, eventually you got to take profit, right?
Yeah, silver, man.
So I have, when I'm talking about silver profits, I'm invested in the traditional finance and some mining facilities, silver mining facilities. So I think now is probably the point I should be taking some profit over there.
Hell to the yeah, buddy.
Yeah, seems a little bit glamorous. Yeah.
I say we wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. It's been quite a long one today.
Yeah. Much longer than normal, but thanks for everybody bearing with us. And again, listen, we had let's see, I'm looking right now. We got over 200 people just on X alone. Appreciate you guys on X. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for everybody on every one of the platforms. We really appreciate you. And on your way out the door, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that like button, the heart button on X. Share this thing out. We're really trying to grow the Matrix Money podcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. Don't forget. We want to see you. All right. Later.
Cheers.